Hi everyone, Harry here. Just a quick report on a couple of the developments in the election law landscape. As we come down to the wire, there's dozens of these, and any of them can turn out to be pivotal in a swing state where a shift of some thousands of votes could actually deliver the state to one candidate or another. So today, just wanted to focus on the group that Republicans are trying to go after to selectively throw out or make it harder for them to vote: overseas voters. And that is a group that, so you have citizens living abroad and you also have military members. And especially citizens living abroad have been shown to be disproportionately Democrat. So where we have two places in which Republicans are fighting to invalidate their votes, and really with very little factual or legal support, but this is what's going on everywhere, shopping and hoping to get lucky. So we have in two different places, and I'm just to sort of flag them for you. Michigan and Pennsylvania, maybe the two most critical and close states in the whole country. Certainly Pennsylvania is one of them, and I think Michigan probably is the second. But in any event, the Republicans are coming in and suing and saying, you're not crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's from this group of Americans. And the secretaries of state are coming in and saying we're doing exactly everything we're supposed to do. Then in Pennsylvania, you have a group of 6 Republican congressmen, including Scott Perry, the man in Congress who has the most to lose and the most to gain from Trump's election, because he really stands out, it seems to me, as the most likely person to be charged criminally. It hasn't happened yet, but we know that there were many members of Congress who were involved in January 6th. Just look at Mark Meadows' call records. But Perry more so than any of them, because he personally ushered in and introduced Trump to Jeff Clark, the man who would be king in the Justice Department and who was ready to be a toady and basically lie to Georgia and say there's fraud here. And as Trump said, my allies in Congress will do the rest. Anyway, these 6 have sued the Pennsylvania Secretary of State, saying that they are disregarding requirements for Americans living overseas. But at least based on the papers, it's a really concocted and meritless claim, because the federal law actually exempts Americans living overseas from some of these requirements, and those are the very ones that the Republicans are coming in and saying, hey, they didn't do this, see? And the Secretary of State is saying, yeah, that's right, here is the provision of law. So you don't expect this to get out of the box, but there's a very scattershot effort, and any sort of ingenuity, or not so ingenious. And again, the timing in these cases, if you're lucky enough to get a district court judge to do something weird, and then that changes the state of play on the ground when the election actually comes, trying to make things better after the election, in many cases, just can't be done. So the plan here is to cast a very broad net in the swing states with any kind of often garbage lawsuit, and hope for lightning strikes. The place they did it most recently was Georgia, as you know, where a hand-picked 3-member of 5 on the state election board, all Trump partisans, has passed a dozen or so patently pro-Trump provisions, and those last week all failed. They were struck down by 2 different courts. We talked about that last week. A little bit of news today is just that they are appealing all of these to the Georgia Court of Appeals now. So that's the intermediate court in Georgia. can't see they're having any more luck there than they did before, but it's just, let's roll the dice anywhere, anyhow we can. Maybe we get lucky and the Georgia Court of Appeals reverses things and maybe does it at November 2nd and it's too late to change. That's the kind of game they're playing. But in Georgia, it didn't work. Now we have in Pennsylvania and Michigan efforts to talk about the cadre of overseas voters. As I've mentioned before, a whole new card they're playing widely, again in swing states, is with completely bogus allegations that non-citizens are voting. So that's the overall state of play. And the reason I want to highlight just these two today is because you just don't know in the election law context which poor claim, which meritless claim can somehow be elevated, endorsed by one judge or another, and literally change the landscape of the whole election. We saw this the first time in 2000 in Bush v. Gore, just the inability to reach and remedy things once an election has occurred. And so the Republicans are on offense everywhere, hoping to get lucky and have it stick and have it result in the differential of a few thousand votes, whatever. All of that is certainly of a piece with what the parties are doing on the ground, which is fighting tooth and nail for every scrap of 10, 20, 30 apparently uncommitted voters. So this is just part and parcel of the same strategy in the legal system. Okay, so there you have it. The bogus claims of failing to comply with all the requirements of overseas voters, and now in Georgia, Republicans going to the next step, having lost decisively at the trial level. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.